It's so easy to make an echinacea tincture with dried echinacea and vodka and do it in one day with the magical butter machine. Okay, now we're ready to make an echinacea root tincture with dried echinacea root using the magical butter machine, and we're going to make it in 8 hours. Now I'm going to start out. The folk method ratio is 1/3 to 1/2 dried herbs to 2/3 of your vodka. So just to make the math simple, I'm starting out with 1 cup of dried echinacea root to 2 cups of vodka. Now I might be able to add a little more, but we'll wait and see. Now I had bought a 4-ounce package of the Echinacea Augustifolia dried root. I've got 2 cups of vodka poured up in here. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of my Echinacea root, give it a stir. Now this is a 4-ounce package, and you can see I still have some left. So I'm going to let this set about 10 minutes to see how much of this root takes up the vodka, to see if we can add more to it. Okay, now I've let this set about 10 minutes, and you can see that it is flowing freely. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this 4-ounce package, which I've already kind of measured it, and it is 1/4 of a cup. So I'm just going to put that in there, give it a stir. Get my magical butter machine, pour it in there. I'm going to add just a little bit more vodka just to kind of rinse this out. Okay, so all I had to do was plug this in, set it on 130, and because it is roots, I'm going to set it for 8 hours. Now I can let this go. I can well, after it gets through, it'll cut itself off, and I can easily just come back in the morning and strain it. Okay, my magical butter machine went 8 hours. I just let it set overnight because I didn't want to deal with it. Okay, now I'm going to use my magical butter filter to take care of this. But the bark really absorbed the alcohol. Let me show you what it looks like. Now I am really going to need my plunger to get the alcohol out of this. Without this plunger, I'd have really had to squeeze hard if I was using cheesecloth. Okay, now one thing I am having to do to get the most out of what I've just done, I'm emptying my filter. I've emptied my filter and kind of wiped it down with a paper towel. And now I'm going to run this back through because it still has quite a bit in it. And it just depends on how determined you are to get the very last drop, how many times you want to do this. Now they do make an actual herb press that's specifically made for doing this, but it's quite expensive and it's not that often that I would need it. Okay, now if you remember, we started out with 2 cups of vodka and about 1 1/4 cup or 4 ounces of echinacea root. Now I came up with a little less than 1 cup of Echinacea Tincture. And I'm going to strain it one more time through one of these reusable coffee filters. So I will probably come up with even less. And remember we had 4 ounces of cut and sifted echinacea root, dried. And it came to about a 1.25 or 1.5 cups. And you can see how much alcohol it absorbed. There's about 3 cups here of the leftover echinacea root. So that's why a lot of times it's so difficult to really say, give you exact measurements and what's going to happen, because every herb is different. It's going to rehydrate differently. So you just have to have practice. Now I came up with about 6 to 7 ounces Echinacea tincture, but my Echinacea root really expanded, and I had 3 cups of used Echinacea root. Now, whether or not you could have reused this and made a tincture again, maybe by letting it soak for 2 to 4 weeks, you would just have to try out. Now, most herbalists consider Echinacea augustifolia to be the most effective, although Echinacea purpurea is what is most often found in your garden center. The Echinacea purpurea has much bigger flowers and bigger leaves. The augustifolia has very thin flower petals, and they might even be more white than what the picture is showing, and the leaves are very thin. The purpurea really starts easily from seed, whereas I have never been able to get the augustifolia started from seed. I've always had to use a root to replant it. Now, most of the early research done on Echinacea was done on the expressed juice of the tops of the Echinacea purpurea. Echinacea purpurea roots are very fibrous, while the roots of augustifolia makes a taproot, which is easier for tincturing. And you can check out my YouTube link for more information on Echinacea. And you can put your machine on pause and get a copy of this link. Now, especially effective against upper respiratory infections. It can be used, added to water as a gargle for laryngitis, add to water as a mouthwash against gingivitis and pyorrhea. It can be used as a treatment for sores and wounds. You would add it to water as a soak or a wash, and then also take internally. Now, the recommended tincture dosage is 1 to 4 meals 3 times a day. Now, there are 5 meals in a teaspoon. Now, you do not take this as a daily tonic. Now, you can learn more about making medicines, lotions, using the magical butter machine. It is really a game changer in making herbal remedies, and you can get this book on Amazon. I'm Carolyn Gibson, herbalist on YouTube, and you might be an herbalist if you're making herb tinctures with the magical butter machine. Like, subscribe, and I always welcome comments.